What is up, Power Knights? In today's video, I want to discuss to you guys the static portion of Milestone Zero Infinite Edition. And in this video, I will be discussing some of the things I liked about the story and some of the things I dislike about the story. But before you guys start this video, I want you guys to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and post a comment below and let me know what you guys actually think about this whole new thing that they're doing with static. Okay, so when we are introduced to the world of Dakota, we see that there is a riot going on and that they have a new stuff. And we all know that new stuff is Q juice. For those who don't know about the original origin of static, the original origin, just a little small briefing, is that they use Q juice to infect the people in Paris Island, but it was more of a gang warfare than it is now. As it is now is the Black Lives Matter movement, and there are protesters. And as you see, Static is actually narrating this and explaining to us as the readers what is exactly going on. And that you could see, for example, that they got Dakota for Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace. And we see that a lot of people the cops are not really per se excited that the kids are skipping school to protest. And one of the cops actually said that you will get arrested for truancy if you don't go back to class. And you see a sign where it says she was sleeping, and that they're sitting there saying, well, you need to stop killing. And then that's when they started shooting the Q juice. Now, the Q juice is known to have a form of it was spiked. It was tear gas, but it was spiked with the Q juice. And because of that, it ended up giving everybody in Dakota powers who was at Paris Island. In this instance, like I said, is the Black Lives Matter movement. And everybody here is gaining power as or got killed, because one of the officers says that kid's face melting, and it looks like it's Indiana Jones. So it's a little Indiana Jones reference there. And that's when you learn that Static also developed his powers here in the Black Lives Matter movement. But what we also see is that Static is unconscious, or Virgil. I'm going to use his real name. Virgil is pretending he's unconscious, I should say, while Sharon starts telling his business to his mom and his dad, where we learned that Static was getting bullied by Hot Streak, aka Biz Money B. I like calling him that just to let y'all know. And we also learned that he has the hots for Frida. That's something that's indicative to the old Static, where Biz Money B, or Francis, was always bullying Static, and he was always in love with Frida. But the difference here is that his dad actually had him in martial arts training. And they said that they allowed him to quit doing, I guess his mother allowed him to quit doing martial arts because he said he would have been a green belt. So his dad is actually training him in the forms of martial arts. They didn't specify what type of training he's doing or what type of self-defense classes he's taking. And we see that he wakes up and his mother is happy about that. Then we also learn that Static's powers go haywire whenever he exerts himself, so it comes at unpredictable times. But he started training and practicing, and one of the things that motivated him to train or practice was he started thinking about all the times he's gotten bullied by Francis, and it frustrated him. And all the times when he was on his way home that he ran from Francis and Francis' boys, because in the old Static, Francis was a racist and he was part of some Nazi gang that they're not really saying here, but you could kind of see that they're trying to give some semblance to that, but it's a little more modern. I also want to point out that I actually like the artwork of it because it has an anime feel to it. So when you're looking at it, it's like, ooh, this looks like an anime type style comic book. So it almost looks like a webtoon. And I think that's where most American comics are going now, because there's a lot of anime fluence going on. And anime in American and Asia countries take clues from each other and have some influences from each other, which is pretty cool. And we also see that Static hasn't been to school in over 2 days or a week. And when he comes back, he's reminiscent of all the people that passed away. And you also see that when Frida had invited him to come to the Black Lives Matter movement, and he obviously was like, well, I'm going to go because Frida had asked me to come and I'm going to go. And besides, I'm a black person and I want to live. And that's where you see Francis make some snide remarks, calling Frida a slut. I don't know if I should say that out loud, but I already did, so my bad. He also called, and some of this is actually funny because he also, besides calling her a slut, he also makes some snide remark about Static and about how, he's only coming because he's trying to get some white booty. And Frida doesn't like that and pretty much tells him that that's kind of being racist, saying that only white people could be smart. And that's when Virgil decks him in the face. And then a fight breaks out pretty much. And that fight breaks out where some of his classmates see that, Virgil's getting jumped. And when you see that Virgil's getting jumped, they jump in. And that's how they start saying that it's a riot per se. So that's how they start thinking it was a riot, because they all started throwing down. And as they're throwing down, they begin to think the protesters were attacking the cops, when it was really like Virgil and Francis and some of the classmates throwing down with each other, and it spilled over. And then you see that Francis is talking to some woman. They never said who she is. And this is where the part I actually don't like. This is the part. And the reason why I don't like this part per se is because he used his powers in public. And even though his frustration, he's almost killing Francis, and you can hear a classmate say, Virgil, you're killing him. For anybody who think that him revealing his secret, he's not even Static yet, even though I've been calling him Static through the whole thing. He's not even Static yet. He didn't even come up with the idea of Static. He didn't even think about becoming a superhero. He just decided to use his powers in front of his own school. And, I read an article that was like, oh, this is good. This is sweet. No, this is terrible. Because there's no point in him wearing a costume. If everybody knows your secret identity, what is the point? And you revealed your secret identity to one of your enemies. And even though your enemy didn't snitch, nobody snitched when the cops or the police came over, it still doesn't negate the fact that you revealed your identity to your enemy. Your enemy cannot tell other enemies your secret identity. Now people can blackmail you. Now they can attack your family. They can attack your school. They can attack your friends. And I know writers like doing this because they think it's a good idea. But if you're going to go through this type of trouble, you might as well make these superhero Shonen Jump type characters where they don't have costumes and they don't wear all this stuff. The purpose of a secret identity, honestly, is to protect your loved ones. But writers be having these people willy-nilly, hey, I'm Static. He ain't even Static yet. Like, come on, man. That's my one gripe. Like, I really wish they'll stop doing that. I also, if y'all want to click on the video I have on the top right screen, I have a video talking and discussing about secret identities and why secret identities is important. These people make it seem like it's unimportant. And that's what I'm saying is a little frustrating. But all in all, the story was good. The artwork was amazing. I mean, at first, when I first saw the art, I was like, I don't know about his costume. But his costume can grow on me. I'm not someone who's going to dislike the costume. But it can grow on me. But I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys personally think about this. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.